Hi, I'm Elliot. I'm from Bullet Jeans. I'm the operations director here in sunny Canada with Kimpex. Just going to tell you a little bit about the brand and what we do. So for those of you who don't know us, we're specialized in denim. So we produce solely motorcycle jeans. So we're very, very specialized, and that thing we specialize very well. As a company, we've been going for 15 years. It was founded in 2010 by my dad, 𝗙𝗵𝗹𝗶𝗹. The brand was created originally based purely on his experience in the real world, in the world of motorcycling. It's not too popular over on this side of the pond, but he was a professional speedway rider. Something you guys have that's quite similar is flat track. So that's something that we're also quite obsessed with because it shares quite a lot of similarities. But that was something he raced for a long time. And through that process, he wore leather because that was the trend at the time. It was the late 70s going into the 80s. He saw the integration of different materials like the use of nylon, the use of Kevlar, and the pursuit of lower weight at the cost of anything. What was happening was these riders were getting injured. You know, they weren't actually being protected anymore by their protective garment. It was just about weight. So he thought this is not the best solution. There's something we can do about this. And from there, he created a material called Covec. Covec is of his own invention, and it's our own patented material. So Bullet as a brand is incredibly easy to work with. Obviously, there's lots of SKUs and things that you have to remember, not only for ours, but for every brand. So to make that nice and simple for you, we've got 3 groups. First and foremost is the Guardian, the flagship. AAA, exterior armor pockets, level 2 armors. Nice and straightforward. We then have the core of the range, which refers to pretty much everything else. So the rest of the range is AA rated. It's very, very well single layered, as level 1 𝗲𝗍 armor, and comes in a multitude of colors. The third is then the Fury. The Fury is slightly lighter in weight, so offers less Covec, more stretch, is single A rated, and comes with only knees. Let's look at the lineup from our current range. So to help us, we're going to look at the thing that makes it the most unique, which is the material itself. So Bullet is the in-house brand of Covec. We innovate and we create our own denims. Covec as a material is specifically developed for the motorcycling sector. It excels in abrasion resistance, seam or tear strength, cut resistance, low thermal conductivity, and above all, low moisture regain. To put that into context, we should probably look at some of the other options on the market. So there are 4 other category groups that you'll find for motorcycle clothing, for abrasion-resistant yarns. So number 1 being polyester, of course, Covec being the aromatic polyester. You then have polyamides, and you also have aramids, which are aromatic polyamides. So what is aromatic? What does that mean? Aromatic refers to the structure of the bond. So essentially, it's a far more polished version of its initial state. So to be aromatic, the bonds within the structure have to have at least 2 bonds. So they have a cyclic structure as opposed to the sort of standard that you would expect in most materials. This, of course, makes it far, far stronger and far better across the board. Obviously, aramid and Covec, being aromatic structures, are both very good. But there are a few things that make the aramid fall down. So the biggest one actually is the moisture regain. So aramid as a product, of course, that refers to things like Kevlar as the main buzzword for that sector. That means that the product absorbs moisture. So for example, you put it in the wash, you wear it in the rain, you get caught in the rain, or whatever it may be. If that material starts absorbing moisture, it expands the fiber and it breaks the bonds. So over a couple of years, really, really diminishing that efficiency. And of course, that's not what you want for a riding jean. You know, it's a product that costs the end user a lot of money, and they want a product of quality. That really breaks down the product itself. You then have to look at how that is put into the product itself. So of course, Covec being the abrasion-resistant yarn, in a typical denim structure, of course, you have to have cotton, and we have a very high quality elastane called T400 in the mix as well. So we have 3 tiers of products. So we have an A product, a AA product, and a AAA product. Essentially, what you need to decide is what are your needs? What do you need? If you want a product that's incredibly stretchy, unbelievably comfortable, of course, it's going to have less of that abrasion-resistant content in it. The opposite goes for the other end of the spectrum. So if you want the absolute utmost, if you want AAA, all the bells and whistles, it will have a little bit less stretch in it, but it's going to have that performance.